This is VOA News. Reporting by remote, I'm Joe Ramsey. Ukrainian troops are piling pressure on retreating Russian forces, pressing a counteroffensive that has produced major gains and a stunning blow to Moscow's military prestige. As the advance continued Tuesday, Ukraine's border guard services said the army took control of a town just 3 kilometers from Russia seized on the first day of the war. Russia acknowledged it has withdrawn troops from areas in the northeastern region of Kharkiv in recent days. Russia's war in Ukraine cannot avoid being one of the main themes during Pope Francis's visit to Kazakhstan. AP correspondent Charles de Ledesma reports.
Russia's war in Ukraine and the Holy See's strained relations with China are the backdrop to Pope Francis's trip this week to the former Soviet Republic of Kazakhstan, where he's ministering to a tiny Catholic community and participating in an interfaith conference. The most noteworthy aspects of Francis' visit, though, may be the missed opportunities. He was supposed to have met with the head of the Russian Orthodox Church, but Patriarch Kirill, who has justified the war in Ukraine, has cancelled. Francis is also going to be there at the same time as Chinese President Xi Jinping's first foreign visit since the coronavirus pandemic. But there are so far no plans for the two to meet. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
The coffin of Queen Elizabeth II has arrived at Buckingham Palace after traveling through a drizzly London as crowds lined the route to bid her a final farewell. The Queen's body made the final journey from Balmoral Castle in northern Scotland, where the monarch died Thursday at age 96 after 70 years on the throne. Find more on our website, voanews.com. This is VOA News. A report on the human rights situation in Sri Lanka urges the newly elected government to implement democratic reforms and combat impunity to prevent the recurrence of human rights violations. The report submitted on Monday to the UN Human Rights Council. Lisa Schlein has more from Geneva.
Widespread protests over shockingly high levels of inflation, shortages of fuel, food, medicines, and other essential items led to the resignation of the previous Sri Lankan president on July 14th. A week later, a new president was elected by parliament. The handover of power was largely peaceful. However, UN Acting High Commissioner for Human Rights Nada al-Nashif is expressing concern over certain actions taken by the new government in recent weeks.
I urge the government not to revert to this reliance on draconian security laws, but to take positive action to foster an environment for peaceful protest, critical discussion and debate.
She says the government has a fresh opportunity to steer the country on the path toward justice and reconciliation and to address the legacy of conflict. Sri Lanka's 26-year-long civil war ended 13 years ago. However, al-Nashif notes tens of thousands of survivors still do not know the fate of their missing loved ones, nor have they received justice and reparations. She says there must be accountability for past human rights violations and abuses. In response, Sri Lanka's Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ali Sabri, said the government was aware of the socio-economic hardships faced by its people and was taking measures to improve their situation. Lisa Schlein for VOA News, Geneva.
Fighting on the border between Armenia and Azerbaijan has killed about 100 troops and fed fears of broader hostilities breaking out between the longtime adversaries. Armenia said at least 49 of its soldiers were killed on Tuesday. Azerbaijan said it lost 50. Armenia's defense ministry said the fighting erupted minutes after midnight, with Azerbaijani forces unleashing an artillery barrage and drone attacks. Recapping our top story, Ukrainian troops are piling pressure on retreating Russian forces, pressing a counteroffensive that has produced major gains and a stunning blow to Moscow's military prestige. As the advance continued Tuesday, Ukraine's border guard services said the army took control of a town just 3 kilometers from Russia seized on the first day of the war. Reporting by remote, I'm Joe Ramsey.